Dear students, today we are speaking about how to analyze competitors if there are a lot of competitors. And today we will speak about it with the help of very useful instrument. Today we are speaking about the map of strategic groups. So generally today we are speaking how to combine a lot of competitors into quite a small quantity of groups, and these allows to analyze not every competitor separately but every group. So this instrument, we call this instrument as a strategic group mapping. So sometimes some companies had a lot of competitors, more than 100 competitors, for example. And in this case, to analyze every competitor is not difficult, but generally impossible. And the main idea of this approach is to combine some similar, or maybe not similar, but let's say close standing competitors into one strategic group. And we call the strategic group as companies, as rivals, which has similar competitive approaches and positions in the market. So, like it is shown at this very picture, having combined all the competitors into three groups, it is possible for us to analyze only these three groups, and that's all. How we can combine the competitors into one strategic group? We have to find some characteristics, and these characteristics could be the following. Actually, at this very screen, it is presented not the like all the characteristics that could be possible to be used. Not, it is just the example. Here you can see just examples of the characteristics which can be used for creating this strategic group mapping. What it could be? It could be almost the same breadth of product lines, the same type of vertical integration. For example, there are some supermarkets with own bakery and without the bakery in the net of supermarkets. Similar services and technical assistance. For example, some company which selling the condition machines. The first company is just selling these condition machines. The second type of companies selling and installing the condition machines, and the third type of companies also provide the after-sales services. For example, every condition machine, you must know, it must be cleaned every 2 years, something like that. Then same product attributes. It's easy. It's just the products which is selling or producing. Same distribution channels. For example, some companies which have the own net of distribution channels. For example, as speaking about Russian company and Kharkiv biscuit factory, they have the own net of own shops. Then, identical technological approaches. Actually, if there are a lot of technologies at the market to be used for producing of some product, we can divide the companies with the help of this. And the level of price and quality, the level of the price and the quality. But when we are using these characteristic, we have to keep in mind that with the help of the price and the quality, we have to separate different groups. The line, the X shouldn't be continuous. Okay, we will discuss it today a little bit later. And generally, when we are dividing all the competitors into strategic group, it could be the situation that we have only one strategic group. It means that we have made a mistake because we decided to use characteristics which is presented in all the competitors, and vice versa. We can have as many strategic groups as there are competitors. Also, in this very case, we have made a mistake because we decided to use very odd, very strange characteristic, which is different for every competitor. So the first is the mistake, and the second is also the mistake. So we have to use characteristics with the help of which we can divide. We can really divide all the competitors into at least several strategic groups. How to build a strategic group map? First of all, we have to identify the two main characteristics. Why two? Because usually the map of strategic groups has two dimensions, and generally there are more characteristics which can be used. Then you have to set the every strategic group at the two variable map using the coordinates of this map. Then you have to assign companies in one strategic group if there are close, and then you have to draw the circles around each strategic groups, and the diameter of every circle must be in proportion to general volume of sales. Here is the example of strategic group mapping. Here you can see the two dimensions. There is the map of strategic group for refrigerators, for shop refrigerators. So there are three types, and the map of strategic group is for the distributors of this equipment. So the first dimension is connected with the type of fridging equipment. It could be wall-mounted, island, and desktop. And the second dimension is connected with the type of selling of this equipment. It could be just selling and that's all, selling and installation, and selling, installation plus some after-sales services. And then we are dividing all the companies into four main strategic groups, as you can see at this very picture. The general rules of strategic map creating. First, the two variables shouldn't be highly correlated. If we take the two characteristics which are correlated, we will see such a picture. For example, if we take price and quality, in this very case, you will see these very characteristics. So it's just low price and low quality, medium price and medium quality, and high price and high quality. Generally, price and quality are interrelated and interconnected, and usually, I would say not always, but usually this correlation is true. Maybe sometimes, maybe you can find the absence of such a correlation, for example, in the world of fashion. So some fashionable coat or jeans can cost can have a very expensive price, but it's not connected with the quality. But in other perspective, maybe if the brand is very expensive, maybe it adds some quality for a customer. What does it mean? For example, I'm not sure about now, but actually the owners of iPhones, they are thinking about themselves that the product adds something to the image of the customer. So they are thinking not only about how easy to use it and how convenient to use it, but also they are thinking about the image. So in this very case, we can say that price and quality are interrelated and interconnected. And what is the main idea of the map of strategic group? We can see some free spaces at the map, and what does it mean? If we see the free space, it means that it is possible to enter this part of market, and the level of rivalry at this very part of the market is rather small. And from this picture, we can see that nobody is selling the fridges of island type and wall-mounted type without the installation. Generally, I'm not a specialist in this field, but maybe it is rather easy to install it. And in this very case, your company can enter the market and can provide it, and the prices will be smaller because the service is not included into the price, and maybe the company can find the place for itself in the market. But when we are looking at this picture, we really see the empty places here and here. But, you know, it's not possible to provide a product with very good quality if the price is rather low. Actually, a lot of people, I have heard the phrase a lot of times that, okay, you are paying not for the product, but you are paying for the just for the brand. But I have a lot of friends who decided to buy the mobile telephone with no name, and they really had some problems with the handies, maybe not crucial problems, but really really unpleasant problems that they have to sometimes they have to wait a lot, and they have problems. We had problems with some softwares. So generally, if you are buying the maybe a little bit more expensive, but the mobile telephone produced by some famous brand, the quality will be higher. So generally, we couldn't say that it is possible for it is possible to place your company here because the appropriate price for this very quality is here, and the same situation is here. Here you are trying to sell the some product for the more expensive price compared with the average market price for this very level of quality. So actually nobody wants to buy the more expensive price if the quality is the same to the average market quality, but the price is bigger. So the clients just will buy this something from this map of strategic groups. And in this very case, it is obvious that you can take only one of these two characteristics, only price or quality, or combination of these characteristics, price and quality, and it will be only one dimension for your map of strategic group. So please do not use two correlated characteristics. Then, second, the variables, the chosen variables must show the really important characteristics for the companies. Actually, okay. I will think, okay, as for me, it is very important that the supermarket must have the convenient parking place. And if I drive a car, if I use a car to buy some food in supermarket, it is not convenient for me when then it's not possible to park my car, or I should spend a lot of time for searching for the free parking place. So it is the important characteristic. What is not important, okay, for example, some supermarkets has some music at parkings, something like that. So I think it's not important, and it doesn't show the differences between the supermarkets. But actually, you are thinking about the companies now. You are the better experts compared to me in your industries, so I will believe you. Then the third, you cannot use continuous or quantitative characteristics. What does it mean? It means that it's not possible to use just the scale from 1 to 100, from 1 hryvnia to 100 or 1000 hryvnias. You have to use discrete variables. It means, for example, like it is in my first example. I will show more examples at the end of my lecture. So you can see that you have no doubt when you are thinking whether to put your company in the first or in the second strategic group, and that's all. So it is these or these or these, these or these or these. And usually there is no difference between two clauses. If you use price, there is usually no difference between two very close strategic groups. So my piece of advice for you is not to use the price, generally only price, and generally please use the discrete variables, not continuous. Then the sizes of the circles must be connected with the diameter of the circles must be connected with the general volume of sales of these various strategic groups. And generally, if you think that there are a lot of main characteristics, more than two, okay, so several maps can be drawn. But generally, your task is to create only one map of strategic groups, so I don't ask you to create two maps of strategic groups. So please choose two most important characteristics, and that's all. And generally, then the strategic groups are close. Then we can say that the stronger competitive rivalry in this part of the market. And some examples. Here I also presented this example to you. Here is the example of producers of sauces. Some produces only ketchups, a big number of trademarks, and also a big range of trademarks plus diabetic products. And here we can say only Doypak. Doypak, this is this type of packaging. We call it as a Doypak. Glass bottles and Doypaks, and also ecologically clean packages. Here the example of map of strategic groups for mineral water in Ukraine. So the lady who decided to use these characteristics, she used brand identification and product quality, but speaking a little bit forward about your task, you have to begin with the explanation of the characteristics, and then you have to explain the intervals. What does it mean, the high identification? What does it mean, the medium identification? And what does it mean, the low identification? Okay, and there are some other examples. I will upload the presentation, so it will be possible for you to read it, and maybe you will find something for yourself. This for creating your task. And I'd like to stress that one company must be put only into one strategic group. It is a big problem. Then you are putting the one company into several strategic groups. Every company must be put only into one strategic group. And your task is to create the strategic group for your industry. So how to begin this task? You have to begin with the description of two main characteristics. Let's take this picture as the example. So you should write something like this, that I decided to use the following two main characteristics: the services provided and the products provided, because I think these two characteristics are the main for this industry, because blah blah blah. Let's present the short description of every dimension. The first dimension, products, we divide it into three main dimensions. Somebody sells only gas, somebody sells only petrol and diesel fuel, and somebody sells all kinds of fuel. Actually, I don't know why the lady decided to put OK here, as far as no, but maybe I took it from a rather old paper, because now I think that OK produces, not produces, but also sells the gas. Okay, but and the second dimension is just selling the fuel and providing some cafe services and some additional services like window washing, car washing, and pressure checking, and etc. and etc. And having done this description, you are presenting the picture. But actually I think this is not very good, but I prefer something like this or this, something like this or this. So it is presented here. The description for every strategic group is presented near the map of strategic group. So your task is to create the map of strategic group for your industry. Now I'm stopping the process of recording, and I will answer to all your questions.